drip, that's water, call that boss. You check my squad and they gon' be in cost. You better be prepared to take a loss. I left my enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce, no it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. No it ain't sauce, no it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce, it ain't sauce.
Hello people, it's your boy Arsus Mini and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be reacting to Ben Shapiro's Superman movie review. Now, I just gotta say, thank you for all the love and support on my last reaction video to Tyrone Magnus, especially you Snyder fans, you know. I especially love the hate comments about how I should rot in hell. I really enjoyed those. I'm glad I was able to touch all you guys' hearts. I really was. You know. But I was informed that there's someone that made a worse video than Ty. His name is Ben Shapiro. Now, I have no idea who this guy is. Ty, I at least grew up with. I enjoyed his videos when I was younger for a while, and then once COVID hit, he started going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs after that. But yeah, I don't know who this guy is. But based off of his channel, he seems very political, and I'm not really a big politics person. And as you can see here, if you know me, you know I hate that word woke. I hate it so much. And I attempted to try and watch this video right here, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it through. But I digress. Some people was like, he's worse. They was like, you need to react to him. So I was like, fine, okay. I'm gonna go ahead, react to him, see what he has to say. I'm gonna say how I feel. You know, I had people, like I said, gunning me down, especially the Snyder fans. I love you guys. You know, sending death threats, but it's all cool. It's all cool. You know, I respect y'all opinion. If y'all think Man of Steel is a masterpiece, Man of Steel is a masterpiece. That's your opinion. You know, that's your opinion. But don't give false information. Just don't say false information like the movie did better than does better than Superman at the box office, because it didn't. It doesn't. But we're gonna see what Ben Shapiro has to say. Hopefully, it isn't nothing too crazy, even though he said he's worse. So let's click on this video.
All right.
And without further ado, we can start this video in a 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, folks. So I watched the new Superman, and I have many, many thoughts. This video is sponsored by our friends over at ExpressVPN.
Better than no list. Okay. The hell does that mean?
You know, I went with my wife. My wife and I always have an interesting time watching movies together because when I go, I'm very analytical about what I think of the movie. My wife sort of gets an overall gestalt, and it's mostly like, that was fun. And so my wife's review was, that was fun. And I think most people who come away from the movie will probably do the that was fun thing. And that seems to be what the people are saying. People are generally liking the movie. They think it's fun. They think it's kind of a kick. David Corenswet is charming. He has good physical presence. I didn't mind him as Superman at all. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane was fine. I thought she was great. I thought both of them had good chemistry. I thought all of that was fine. And then there is the analysis. So my overall review of Superman.
Okay, so he's doing the opposite of what Ty did. Ty started off bad, and then Ty started off with the movie as shit, but then started saying good stuff about it, but somehow ended off with the movie being bad. This guy is saying starting off positive and is about to go negative. So
Superman is super meh. It's meh. Okay, so all the people who are getting super exercised over the politics, and we'll get to the politics a little bit.
Politics. Oh my God. I've been hearing about this. Lately. I'm like, oh my God, politics. I'm trying to figure out why the politics is such a big thing. The politics in this movie, at least the amount of information I know about politics, it's not even that heavy in this movie. Not to the point where it needs to be like really focused on. Like, not really. No. I mean, outside of like what Lex Luthor had with the monkeys freaking typing hate comments for Superman. I mean, the whole purpose of that was just to show how much Lex Luthor hates Superman. but it's nothing really super political.
Later on, I think that they are overestimating how much politics is in this. I think they're deliberately misinterpreting some of the politics that are in there. This is not a movie about illegal immigration. It's not a movie about ICE, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, the Palestinians. There may be references there if you have politics on the brain. But
Okay.
other than that, I really don't think that there's that much of this there. That is not my overall problem with the movie. My overall problem with the movie is that you are taking the most iconic American IP of all time, Superman, which is to be treated with a certain level of respect. That doesn't mean it has to be, grand mythology the way that Zack Snyder wants to do. Like, my standard for Superman is not Man of Steel. My standard for Superman movies is 1978 Richard Donner, the best version of Superman.
Okay, you already have my respect. You got my respect right there. You just said that. You said that. You got my respect. No disrespect to Man of Steel. I have full disrespect for Snyder cultist, but no disrespect to Man of Steel.
It just is. Overall, here is my problem. James Gunn is the wrong director, writer, creator for this thing.
I saw Chewbacca on the cover of People magazine. I was like, oh my God.
He's just wrong for it. It's Guardians of the Galaxy with Superman in it. And so that means it's all kind of...
Okay. I completely disagree with it's James Gunn was the wrong person. James Gunn is indeed he couldn't be more of the right person. He literally, I don't care what you haters have to say. James Gunn never made a bad film. He never made a bad film, technically. All three of the Guardians, no matter what you say about Guardians 3, that movie didn't do bad. It was good. He made a great Guardians trilogy. He showed that he can make a good DC movie. People enjoyed the DC movie. COVID kind of messed up money-wise with it, but he made a good DC movie. He then made Peacemaker. Peacemaker, the series, was good. People enjoyed that. Then he made Creature Commandos. People enjoyed that. If anything, James Gunn was indeed the right person to do this. So I don't really agree with that. I do somewhat agree with that it was a little bit all over the place at times, and it was a bunch of random stuff at once, but not to the point where it makes the movie bad or fully takes away from what the movie was trying to do.
The plot holes are big enough to drive a truck through them. There are character problems. And all of it is just kind of wrapped around this gauzy, fast-paced, jokey tone that doesn't mesh with Superman as central part of Americana.
But you like Christopher Reeves's version? You like Richard Donner's version? Okay.
To me, James Gunn's sensibility is always to be subversive. That is what he does. He does subversive in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? He takes a comic book movie and he turns it into sort of a potty-mouthed sitcom.
Don't drink fountain water, you idiot. That's disgusting.
A potty-mouthed sitcom. He did that. What he did with Guardians, I mean, it worked because of who the Guardians were and how they were as a team.
Disgusting.
I wouldn't say potty-mouthed sitcom.
And he does the same thing with Suicide Squad. He takes that same sensibility, and now he's doing that with Superman.
Superman robots, I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less.
What's wrong with what about this scene is I don't get what about this scene is it's literally Superman. It's a very decent, humorous scene. It's literally Superman saying, "Why didn't you watch the dog?" The robot's like, "We have no emotional feeling. We have no emotional feelings. We could honestly care less what happened to the dog, but we will still try to take care of him." What's wrong with this scene? There's not. What is generally wrong with
Whether
this
he
scene?
lives or dies.
And I get that after the interpretation
And couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less. Unruly.
Let me watch it again.
Superman robots, I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed.
Yeah, what's wrong with this scene? You're comparing.
Idiot. That's disgusting.
I mean, you're making it sound way worse than what it actually is. Like, it's not even that bad.
And he does the same thing with Suicide Squad. He takes that same sensibility, and now he's doing that with Superman.
Superman robots, I thought I told you to...
So by giving Superman emotion and giving him a little bit more character, that's a problem. And like I said, this was very genuinely, this was genuine. This was human. He's having a conversation with his robots that protect and watch over the Fortress of Solitude. And then it comes up as they're talking, the comments back and forth. It just comes and becomes a little funny.
Keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less whether he lives or dies.
And I get that after the interpretation of the Snyderverse is over serious, he's reversing himself into completely the opposite direction. But what that means is that he's constantly subverting everything.
I was raised with a dog that was my sister.
The very beginning of the movie, you are told that Superman is the most powerful metahuman, right?
Right.
There's like a placard that says 30 years ago, the metahumans arrived. 3 years ago, Superman emerged. 3 weeks ago, there was an invasion. And now 3 minutes ago, Superman's ass got kicked.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
He's not very super.
He's not very super. How is he not very super? He's fighting. I feel like, are y'all forgetting? Like, I feel like people are forgetting the fact that y'all do realize he's fighting an evil clone of himself, right? Y'all do realize that. So he's basically fighting himself. Mind you, he's fighting an evil clone of himself, but he's fighting an evil clone being controlled by Lex Luthor, who's watching Superman's every move and has been watching his every move for those past 3 years. And he's able to control Ultraman to do exactly what he wants and be able to counter every move. You do realize that, right? And when does he not seem very super? He's able to save people without being killed. He's able to stop he was able to hold up a monster's foot. He stopped a building from falling on someone. Like, he's shown a lot of times in this film saving someone or being very super. What are you talking about?
He is not the Man of Steel. He is not invulnerable.
He's not the Man of Steel. He's not invulnerable. How?
He gets his ass kicked routinely. He gets
his ass kicked by someone who is a stronger and evil, an evil and stronger version of him, and this stronger and evil version of him is being controlled by someone that has been watching his every move for almost 4 years now, and literally has cameras watching him from every angle, so he can block his moves and figure out what Superman's going to do next. Who does he get his ass kicked by other than that person?
locked up in a prison with a character who's making kryptonite out of his hands.
Sorry, what?
Up in a deal. He is not invulnerable. He gets his ass kicked.
Very invulnerable. What are you talking about? He literally took fire to the face.
Routinely. He gets
routinely. So when Zod was kicking when Zod and his minions were beating on Superman in Superman 2, that was okay, but this is not okay. Okay.
Locked up in a prison with a character who's making kryptonite out of his hands.
You don't even know the character's name. You don't even know the character's name. a character Metamorpho? Like, you don't even know his name. Oh my god. I was hoping this video didn't take a turn. I was hoping he might actually give legit like criticism. But actually he in the beginning he gave some legit criticism. Somewhat. But he hasn't given me like any real reason for it. But a character like Metamorpho, you don't even know his name.
I'm sorry, what?
He's constantly in victim mode. Like Green Lantern has.
He's constantly in victim mode. When was he constantly in victim mode? Please tell me. I want to address what moments you're talking about. Please. When was he in victim mode?
There's much more success in this movie. Mr.
If you say so. Mm-hmm. I mean, for the small moments they had, Superman made sure to call them to help to literally help the people that were going to die by the soldiers, because he couldn't make it because he had to deal with the fact that freaking Lex Luthor made a pocket dimension, and it was literally splitting open the entire and freaking splitting open Metropolis and causing a black hole.
Terrific has much more success in this movie than Superman.
Who? What do you mean who? See, okay. What do you mean who? So here's okay. I'm getting real fever. Not saying that you need to read every comic or know exactly every character, but dude, Google is free. I can't stress that enough. Google is free. you don't even know who these characters are. You don't know who these characters are. And like I said in my review, I feel like I do feel like that was one of the problems, that most of these characters, most people are not going to know. Most of these characters are set up as if they already exist. And this movie makes it feel like it's like a comic book. Like, it's just a panel. These characters are just randomly popping up and coming in. So you need to already know certain information before coming in. But bro, I mean, Mr. Terrific definitely helps out for sure, and he has that great moment, but I don't think he outshines Superman. No.
And parents from Krypton, if you're going to go through the mythology, send him to Earth so that he can be a moral guide for people on Earth using his great powers to stop evil from happening to them. In this movie, his parents from Krypton send him there. This is the big revelation of the movie. His parents send him there to dominate the life on Earth as an alien invasion, essentially. And to create a harem of Earth women to have his many babies.
Well, sign me up.
So immediately you're taking the expectation of what you know about his Krypton parents and flipping it on its head. His parents.
So explain to me in the film how that ruins the film. In the movie, how does that ruin it? How does it ruin the movie? Because at the end of the day, Superman still decides to be Superman and still ends up stopping Lex Luthor and saving the day. So how does that moment makes things bad? Like, how does it make the film bad? You have not explained that. How does it make it bad? I totally agree. I would definitely prefer if you kept Superman's parents how they were supposed to be. These great parents that sent him off. They wanted to protect his son to a world where he can be a beacon of hope and protect people. I would rather prefer that. But what James Gunn did is not bad either. It doesn't take away or really affect anything. Superman still decides to be Superman. All they did was make him into pretty much invincible. And like Superman, the only difference is Superman doesn't kill people like how Mark does. That's really the only difference. Like, it doesn't take away from the story or what's going on. So please explain how that like messes up the story. How does that affect the story?
Ma and Pa Kent. In the original, they are noble and they are wise. They're kind of salt of the earth.
Yes.
Here, they're basically kind of, I don't know, like.
Listen up.
Ed,
We've got 3 hours to
are
land
you
a new
about to
tagline.
skip
What do
the
you
whole scene that
Down home types who don't seem to, they live in a kind of a crappy house. They're the kind of.
they live in a crappy house? They live on a farm. I can say that they live in a crappy house. I would say all of any version of Superman's parents don't live in a great or a really nice looking house. What's your point? What's your point? What are we talking about here? Oh my god. Yeah, like, what are we talking about? And his parent, are you forgetting the whole talk that his Paul Kent had with Clark? Are you forgetting the moment between Superman's mom and Lois, the talk with Superman's mom and Lois, when Superman was laying on the bed with Lois? Like, it's like you're forgetting like certain moments in the film.
People who call the TV the box. They're the kind of folks who are sitting around and kind of scratching their butts. They're purposely cast as ugly and non-noble. It doesn't mean
ugly and non-noble. What do you want them to look like? What, you want them to look like freaking Ryan Gosling and Megan Fox? Like, what? Ugly and non-noble. They're elder. His parents are elderly. Like, they're old. They've been raising him since he was a kid. Like, what do you want them to look like? What?
everything they say is bad. It isn't. But, and by the way, both of them are alive in this, right? The original Superman mythos is that Pa Kent dies. And
there are a couple of moments. There are so many other takes on Superman where his father survives, and there are other takes where his father doesn't die.
And that's what sends Superman on his journey. Anyway, Crypto.
I feel like he's going strictly based off of the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. I feel like that's what he's doing. I feel like he's only going based off of that. He's not going based off of multiple iterations including comics and TV shows. I feel like he's mostly going based off of that one of the Superman, the 1978 Superman movie. I feel like that's really what he's going based off of.
The super dog is a terrible dog, is a dog that does not, like an idiot dog.
An idiot dog? You mean the same idiot dog that was able to pull Superman out of at the beginning of the movie, was able to pull Superman back to the Fortress of Solitude to get him fixed up? You talking about the same idiot dog that helped Superman take down the evil Superman? You talking about the same idiot? You talking about the same idiot dog that helped Superman in the pocket dimension take down soldiers and helped him take down the other help him get all the other people out? You talking about the same idiot dog that was able to take down all of Lex Luthor's little camera drones? That idiot dog? Because the dog acts like how some dogs act in real life? That idiot dog? The dog is supposed to be super ultra intelligent? What is he supposed to be? What is he supposed to be? An airbud? Like that idiot dog? Okay.
Like way worse than my dog Happy. My dog Happy way better than this dog, and my dog makes trouble. This dog is a mess. Supergirl.
And let me just inform you, the way Crypto acts is based off of how what you're about to say with Supergirl is how based off of what you're probably about to get on Supergirl about is because of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. What is going to happen in that story because of the story it's going to be based off of. Crypto acts like that for a reason. He acts like that because Supergirl just allows him to do whatever because she's upset right now. She's dealing with something.
Who you get introduced to for a hot second at the very end. Supergirl is a drunken teenage brat.
And this is where I say once again, Google is free. Google is free, my guy. Google is free. Google is free. Google is free. All you have to do is look up Supergirl. Look up who did James Gunn base Supergirl off of? What iteration? What interpretation? You can do the same thing for Matt Reeves' Batman. And when you look it up, it tells you year one, Long Halloween. He based Supergirl off of The World of Tomorrow. That comic where Supergirl is depressed, is literally depressed because she literally watched her entire planet die in front of her face. She is depressed. That's why Crypto acts the way he acts, because right now Supergirl don't give a shit. So, like I'm saying, it seems like he's really going based off of that Superman 78 and what other knowledge that he knows, like the small bit of knowledge that he knows, because literally he even James Gunn, even before this movie came out, he told us verbatim that this Supergirl is going to be based off of how Supergirl is in World of Tomorrow and Woman of Tomorrow. He literally said that. The moment he announced that he was doing this, the DCU, he said that. So, like I said, Google is free. Google is free.
Right, like anything that you think you know about the Superman universe, James Gunn is determined to debunk in the first half hour of the film.
He's the only thing he really did differently. The only thing he really changed was the design of Ultraman and how Ultraman pretty much is, and kind of bizarroed him a little bit, and pretty much the whole parents thing, his Superman's biological parents. That's really the most major changes that he did. Everything else he pretty much got based off of a comic. So I don't know what you're talking about. But that's what I'm saying. To James Gunn, fit what he did works and doesn't work because people like this, they don't understand it because they either, let's be real here, most people don't read comics like that no more. No one really reads comics like that. So their first insight or interpretation is through TV shows and movies. And when one of these TV shows or movies doesn't do something they're familiar with, they instantly act like this is not how he's supposed to be, when it could have been an iteration. It could have been an iteration. That iteration may not be good, but it could have been an iteration. So clearly here, you didn't do any other research or you didn't pay attention to what James Gunn was talking about when he brought up the DCU, because you would know that he's basing Supergirl. He's basing Supergirl off of a certain comic, and most of the stuff in this is based off of comics, especially Superman fighting a kaiju.
I think that it's a betrayal.
This freaking All-Star Superman and literally all that, where he's literally just fighting a bunch of random stuff. Like, come on.
Of the original IP, and mildly upsetting. Not like hugely upsetting, but mildly upsetting. That is my critique of James Gunn. He is not the right person for this.
I completely disagree. He is definitely the right person for this. He has shown he can be the right person for this. He has not made a bad movie. Literally, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably one of the best MCU movies ever made. Like that's considered one of the best MCU movies. He is definitely the right person. I don't. He has not shown to do anything bad. Not yet. You can say what you want about Superman, but Superman is doing well. It just popped up. Matter of fact, let me find it, because apparently people like to say that, oh, Superman isn't doing well. Let me pull up, because WB just posted it. There you go. Wait, let me turn my brightness down. There you go. No, there you go. I don't know if you can see that. 220 million global opening. The movie's doing good. So I don't know what y'all are talking about. I don't know what y'all are watching, but I don't know where y'all get y'all sources from, but the movie is doing fine. The movie is not bad. James Gunn has not shown to be doing anything terrible. Not yet, at least. So I don't know what you're going based off of, but he seems to be working.
Because James Gunn is not capable of delving, he's just not. He's not capable of delving into a single character and examining his motivations. And what's interesting about
and examining his motivations. Did you watch Guardians 3 where he did a whole origin story with Rocket? Did you watch Guardians 2 where we dove into Star-Lord's backstory and his father? Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
That character. He can't do it with Superman. He can't do it with Lois. Single character and examining his motivations. And what's interesting about that character, he can't do it with Superman. He can't do it with Lois.
Superman, you didn't get Superman's motivation. Superman's motivation is that he wants to just literally be shown that he is a good guy. He is human like the rest of he's human. He makes mistakes, but he still does what he can and does his best and can be a hero. That's the whole purpose of Superman in this film. At least from what I got. Yeah, like his motivations are pretty clear. Lex Luthor's motivation, he wants to show that he is superior, that he is better. Most of the time, that's what Lex wants to be. Like, I wish we could have got a little bit more on showing why, like how Lex got there and why he wants to be so superior. But you pretty much get that he hates Superman. He hates Superman. He wants Superman gone, and he wants to be the god. He wants to be better. You pretty much get that from the moment the film starts.
He can't do it with Lex.
Well,
Instead,
the moment you see him,
decides he's just going to toss everything into the stew, and so you end up with this.
I do agree with that to some degree. He did toss a bunch of stuff in here when he could have just focused strictly on Superman, but the Justice Gang doesn't really take away. Metamorpho, the character you don't know, doesn't really take away from anything either. I mean, this is literally the adventures of Superman, where Superman goes on a bunch of quests. And though that can be a little confusing, and even though it could be a little out of place at times, especially for those that don't read comics or haven't read some of the comics that he's basing this off of, I understand that. I feel for that. And like I said in my movie review, I said Man of Steel is more easygoing. You could follow that story pretty much easier. But this story overall is just better because it literally does exactly what we've been expecting for Superman. Telling a Superman story where he can thrive.
Sort of ADHD film where a bunch of things are going on at the same time.
And I do agree with that to some degree. I do kind of wish he did do the day thing, so you can actually get that, oh, this was day 1, this was day 2, this was day 3, this was day 4. But you kind of get where the film is going. Like, it's not that you're making it sound way worse than what it actually is. It's not that confusing. It's not that confusing.
Time, but you never get a good, interesting perspective on anybody who's in the film.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. You get a very good, interesting perspective on Lois and Clark, especially once they go back to Lois's apartment and have that conversation in that interview. You get a great perspective on Lois and Clark. You get a great perspective on who Jimmy Olsen is, especially the fact that he can get all these girls. You get a great perspective that Guy Gardner thinks he's the shit. He can just do whatever he wants. He's that man. He's that guy. Mr. Terrific is the smart, calculated person, like you get that. The only person I can really say is not as developed is Hawk Girl. To be Hawk Girl and maybe like Perry White, Hawk Girl, Perry White, and Cat Graham. But like really, Perry White and Cat Graham, why would they get as that much screen time? But yeah, really Hawk Girl. That's really it. Other than that, I just like what you're saying is just not true.
So Green Lantern is there, and he's kind of just a schmuck, and he's there as comic relief. And then you have Mr. Terrific.
As comic relief, honestly, there really isn't a comic relief in my opinion. I mean, you could say it's Guy Gardner, but pretty much everyone has their moments where, like, everyone really has their moments where like a joke is like spitted or like something generally humorous happens.
Terrific, who's the actual hero of the film, who you learn nothing about other than he's just kind of a noble do-gooder fellow. And you have all these super film who you learn nothing about other than he's
the actual hero of the film. He's the actual hero of the film. So Superman, the dude that was literally flying around saving people, freaking saved the squirrel. The dude that actually is the one that defeated Ultraman. Mr. Terrific is the full-on hero of the film. Okay. If you say so.
Kind of a noble do-gooder fellow.
Mr. Terrific definitely contributed. I'm not taking that away from Mr. Terrific. He definitely contributed. But Superman's the one that defeated Ultraman. He's the one that defeated Strife, the lady with the that could change her body into any object. He definitely defeated her. Or knocked her out. Yeah. So let's not. Mr. Terrific had his great moments. He did, but don't make it seem like Superman did nothing. That's not what happened.
And you have all these superheroes who are wandering around. You never get any information about them that makes them interesting or sympathetic.
Makes them interesting or sympathetic. What information do you want about them? First of all, this isn't their movie. This is Superman's movie. Two, you get enough. Like I said, the only character I will somewhat give you is Hawk Girl, but you don't really need to dive that deep into each of these characters because at the moment they're just there to like move the plot along. That's really what they're there for, and they work within the moments, especially Mr. Terrific. Like you don't need to go fully deep into these characters right now. Like
or even particularly cool. But you don't know the motivations of any of the villains. Except for Lex, who had turned.
You don't know the motivations of any of the villains. All of the villains work for Lex. All of the villains were working for Lex. What? What? What are you talking about? All of the villains were working for Lex. Ultraman was working for Lex. Strife was working for Lex. The freaking Kaiju was a creation from Lex. Like what? The guy, yeah, like all of them, everything was literally because of Lex. What?
Out is just really kind of jealous of Superman because Superman has superpowers, and Lex is like, I'm really smart, and Superman is really strong, so why do people...
You're a liar. You're a liar. You didn't like the first Christopher Reeve movie. Matter of fact, you don't even know Lex Luthor. Because how are you saying? Because that's literally what Lex is. Literally what happens in the first Superman movie. Lex having Superman open the box, Kryptonite. He wants to take him down. He wants to have he wants to be seen as the god and seen like the superior. That's literally what Lex does in the first Superman movie. Especially when he sends the missiles so he can create his own land. That's literally what Lex does in the first movie. What are you talking about? Like that's literally Lex Luthor. He wants to feel superior and be on top. Like that's literally Lex Luthor. What are you talking about? Like this video is it's crazy. Like
People like Superman more than they like.
Mind you, I'm only 6 minutes in. Like, and I'm already going crazy.
Like me, which is a pretty boring motivation. Really smart, and Superman is really strong, so why do people like Superman more than they like me? Which is a pretty boring motivation.
It's the same motivation, pretty much. Okay.
To be frank. So the characters are complete pastiches. They're just cardboard cutouts. Even
cardboard cutouts, but you don't even know the name of one of the characters. You don't even know who Metamorpho is. How do you know these characters are cardboard cutouts? Have you read a comic with Guy Gardner in it? Have you watched anything with Guy Gardner in it? Have you watched Batman the Brave and the Bold? Because how Guy Gardner acts in this film is pretty much how he acts in most iterations. Like, did you watch Green Lantern the animated series on Cartoon? Like, what? Like, I'm trying to figure out, what do you cardboard cutouts? How? I'll say it again. The only character I might give you is Hawk Girl, but even that is a little far fetched. The characters do what they need to do without taking too much away from Superman. That's it.
the moments that are supposed to hit don't hit because there's so much going on in the background because James Gunn cannot control his ADHD. He just cannot.
I think he was pooping his brains out for the next 36 hours.
There's a scene where Clark and Lois, they've had a fight and now they're back together and they're having a talk. And it's supposed to be this very intimate talk where they're speaking with each other. And literally outside the window, Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific and Hawk Girl are fighting a gigantic sort of eye monster that looks like it's from Suicide Squad.
Stop it right there, Joker.
Yeah. Looks like it's from Suicide Squad. Well, I mean, these are all. I mean, this is the same universe. It is DC universe, so I mean, of course, it should look like it's from Suicide Squad. Duh, duh. Like, what do you mean? Okay, for that specific scene, I do agree to some capacity. It was a little weird that Superman's just not helping them, just a little bit. But it's not like, but it didn't seem like it was the way Superman put it. It wasn't like that big of a threat, and it seemed like they was pretty much handling it. And the whole point was that Superman was depressed. He was depressed of what was going on, and he was really upset that Lex Luthor took his dog. Now, I know that sounds... Lex Luthor literally took his dog. He broke into the Fortress of Solitude, destroyed his stuff, went through his things, siphoned a message from his parents, destroyed his robots. Like, I mean, Superman and the world was pretty much hating on him. Bro was depressed at the moment. He was depressed at the moment. Yes, I do think it was a little weird, and he could have definitely helped out, but I don't... You still... In that moment, you still got what you needed from that moment. It could have been a little bit longer, and we could have made it a little bit more serious between Clark and Lois, but the moment still does what it needs to do. It still does what it needs to do. And you still feel something for Clark because of what's going on. Especially when he says that he needs to turn himself in, and Lois is like, no, you don't have to do that.
It's extremely distracting because he's James Gunn and everything has to be some sort of dumb joke. You're like, well, shouldn't Superman be doing something about it? No, let them handle it.
Dumb joke. I mean, it was some jokes thrown in there. I mean, it should have been a little bit more serious. And I agree with you to some degree, but it still has the moments where Lois sits up, Superman sits up, they start reflecting, you start getting a little deep conversation. It could have been longer for sure, but the background isn't that distraction, and they don't show the background at every moment. They sometimes pan to Superman's face, and then sometimes they pan to Lois' face.
Again, that's irritating. As far as the plot itself makes very little sense. The plot is basically that Lex Luthor has decided that he is going to make a deal with a foreign politician who the left wants to believe is both Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu, but actually is just...
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Kind of nothing. Is going to invade another country, and Superman stops that invasion. Apparently, Lex wants to use this as an excuse to box up Superman, saying that he's running counter to America.
He's doing this to take control, be on top, and to also do this to have another reason to take out and kill Superman. Yes.
American foreign policy. Now, we've seen that iteration in other movies, right? That was in Batman versus Superman. You've seen it in other versions of the Superman story.
In that story, it didn't make sense because they was literally trying to say Superman was killing people, but I mean,
but it's not really taken kind of to its ultimate extreme.
That wasn't taken to the extreme. They literally went to court. That wasn't taken to the extreme. What movie did you watch? They literally went to court. It was a freaking mob. It was a freaking line of people outside of the freaking court. What? That wasn't taken that seriously. But this, oh no, freaking Lex Luthor trying to take over a freaking country. Nah, that's just too much. What?
Politically. In any case, it turns out that what he really wants is to annex half of this separate country. He's going to split it with this other dictator. One major plot hole. Lex Luthor is obviously the smartest person in the film. So smart, he can create his own universes. Is a major plot point. And he is concerned about a relatively small piece of land occupied by third worlders.
You say that, but you said you liked the first Superman movie. Literally, Lex does something similar like that in the first Superman movie. Why do you think he sent the missiles in the first Superman movie? He literally says he wanted to make his own place, his own land. He literally said that. Like, that's literally what Lex is doing here. What is your complaint? You make no sense right now. How?
This is his big plan. And later it turns out.
And all of this, he's doing, once again, he's also doing all of this just to have another excuse to get the world to hate Superman and so he can kill him. Like,
out that he said, oh, no, I started that war just so that I could get people to turn against Superman. Okay, well, he does that halfway through the film. And then he jails him, and then he leaves him alive and explains this secondary plan that apparently was his primary plan, sort of. But he doesn't kill Superman at the time for a reason that remains undisclosed.
We hear that he killed 27 children, and you're always going to make mistakes, but that's how it is.
The entire plot is a complete mess. If you tried to chart it,
it's a pretty simple plot. I mean, I would say the confusing part as is within the way stuff is placed, but like it's a pretty simple plot. Lex Luthor wants to take over a country. He wants to take over a set of land while also making this be flipped on Superman and turning the world against Superman so he can find a way and also come up with another excuse to kill Superman and have him gone. That's a pretty simple plan. That's a Lex Luthor plan. Lex Luthor literally trying to destroy other people's properties and take down other lands so he can build and profit off of. Half of the stuff in Metropolis was built off of Lex. So, I mean, that makes sense. What are you talking about? That's literally what happens in Superman the animated series. Like you can watch an episode of that. That's one of the things that happens in Superman animated series.
There's no way to do it because James Gunn doesn't care about plot. James Gunn doesn't care
about plot. What the hell are you talking about? Does it care about plot? So the plot in Guardians of the Galaxy was just nothing. The plot of Guardians 2, 3 was just nothing. Okay. Yeah, okay.
About characters. James Gunn cares about jokes and aesthetics. That's what James Gunn cares about.
Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't care about character development. He definitely doesn't care about making characters interesting. Yeah, totally. Yeah, what he did in Guardians, the Guardians, the whole freaking, when Groot freaking sacrificed himself, oh no. Building up that, yeah, that was nothing. Yeah, that was nothing. What are you talking about? Literally in Guardians 2, at the very end, when all of them was pretty much sacrificing themselves, yeah, that was nothing. That was nothing. James Gunn doesn't know what he's doing. Gotcha. When Star-Lord's father figure, who we watched throughout the first one and then the second one, and then literally died and sacrificed for Peter, that was nothing. That was nothing. You know, I don't know what James Gunn is doing.
It's very difficult to make Clark a hero in a situation in which the plot is a complete mess. And again, that's not a real...
He literally is a hero. He saves a bunch of people. He helps literally save from the freaking Metropolis splitting open. He literally defeated Ultraman. And from possibly killing other people. He got Lex sent away from causing more problems in that country or anywhere else. Like, what? What are you talking about?
On Nicholas Hoult, who I love in everything. I think he's great. Or David Corenswet or Rachel Brosnahan. That's a rip on James Gunn as a script writer. It's just not a good script. Okay, we'll get to more.
If you say so. I mean, the box office and ratings is saying otherwise, but okay.
More of this Superman review, this overlong and overcritical Superman review in a moment. First, it's rather ironic when you think about it. Millions of military members have fought for our freedom, but a lot of the privacy that we rely upon is eroding every day. Our phones listen to us, tech companies track everything we do online. All that is completely legal. Fighting for freedom isn't just for the military anymore. We actually have to protect ourselves, and that's why I use ExpressVPN. It's basically like a shield for your internet.
I don't give a shit.
1,000 or over apart. It's tablets, even your smart TV. You can protect ExpressVPN. You can too. Box below, or by heading on over to expressvpn.com/BenYT. Okay, the visuals are, when I say a mess, I mean that the visuals are CGI vomit, like complete CGI vomit. So James Gunn has an addiction to kind of gross and weird imagery, which doesn't really fit in the context.
What gross and weird imagery are you talking about? Are you talking about when he punched the guy and his tooth fell out? I guess it's gross and weird imagery. I mean, whenever this isn't even just a DC or like a James Gunn thing. Whenever I get literally, there are so many moments in so many movies outside of Marvel DC, especially like Infinity War. There's a lot of moments where Iron Man looked really rubbery. He looked very rubbery, especially in the Iron Man suit. There's so many moments where Spider-Man doesn't look the best. There's so many moments where Cap clearly looks like he is CGI. I don't think we don't even need to talk about some of the scenes in Brave New World because, whoa, you can tell that man, that they be having people stand in front of the green screen and nothing else is there. But I mean, especially when you pause on certain scenes, like I'm gonna literally do it.
Data, tap that.
Because this is what some of y'all was doing too.
Clicking the link. The visuals are, when I say
this visual, there was nothing wrong with this visual. This does not look bad. It's of course when I pause it in certain moments, it's going to look a little bad, but it doesn't look bad.
The visuals are CGI.
This does not look that bad. It does not look as bad. When I pause it, it's going to look a little goofy, just a little bit. But you can clearly still tell this is David, and you can clearly still tell this is a guy.
Vomit, like complete CGI vomit. So James Gunn has an addiction to kind of gross and weird imagery, which doesn't really fit in the context of the, again, Americana that is Superman.
It doesn't fit within the context of what is the Americana, which is Superman. What the hell are you talking about? It's a comic book film. What are you talking about? What?
And so there's some really gross and weird images, particularly in the Pocket universe, where you have characters who are turning themselves into weird tentacly octopuses, and you have
so because James Gunn decided to go deep in comics and do some of the weirder stuff, that makes it like the CGI doesn't look bad in those scenes. And Metamorpho is someone that can change into multiple things. So there are going to be some moments that don't always look the best, but they don't look as bad as you're making them. Like they don't. This scene was pretty beautiful. It was not even that bad.
People's eyes being attacked on a wide variety of it. He has an obsession with eyes, James Gunn, and you can see it.
What scene are you talking about?
In Suicide Squad. He has like an obsession with the eyeball being pierced, and it's very strange and off-putting.
Are you really? I mean, Starro is a gigantic star. I mean, what other? One of his weak points is clearly as bright as day. I mean, what else would he? What else are you going to attack? His other arm. Like, what else are you going to attack? And I mean, that would be some type of strategy. The first thing you do, freaking Godzilla versus Kong. One of the first places Kong does is go for freaking Godzilla's eyes and goes for like his tail. Like, really?
My wife was very off-put by a lot of this imagery. It feels like psychedelic LSD CGI vomit is what it
CGI vomit. Got you. I wonder what other movies you don't like with CGI. Pretty much, considering most Marvel and DC movies, all of them have CGI. So I'm pretty curious which ones you don't like. Because the CGI in this movie was not that bad. It was not as bad. Actually, I think it got better from the trailers.
Feels like for large portions of the film, you never really get a kinetic scene of Superman doing something cool. You have
Whoa. So Superman jumping in front of the kid and stopping it, and we got that in slow motion. That wasn't cool. Superman freaking grabbing freaking grabbing the lady, and freaking swinging her around in like a tornado spin. That wasn't cool. To attack Ultraman, that wasn't cool. Superman literally freaking flying up and then doing a whole spin with all of the freaking Lexus guards around him, and then freaking heat visioning all of them. That wasn't cool at all. This scene that you're about to show where he freaking stops like that, like there's no scene that was cool at all. Stop the cap.
Scenes of giant heavy objects falling on Superman and Superman stopping the giant heavy objects from falling to save an individual. Again, another plot hole. You'll have a giant building. The entire building will fall, and he will stop the building from falling to save one person or a chipmunk who is in the way. But it's an entire building full of people, so presumably all those people are dead.
You know what? I'm gonna use my Man of Steel logic. Technically speaking, we didn't see people in these buildings. We don't know how many people are in these buildings. We don't know if these people died or not. And either way, we still see Superman attempting to try to save everyone, compared to Man of Steel, where most of the time you don't see him really attempting to save anyone. We literally see Superman save a squirrel to literally show how much he cares about life. He was literally about to save a monster that he didn't even know. Like, he's about to trying to save the kaiju to find another way to contain him. Superman is attempting to try and save as much people as possible. He's not going to be able to save every single person. Even in Man of Steel, I will give Henry Cavill that. Like, he can't save every single person. Like, he can't. But we can at least see him try. And that's the difference. We actually see David attempt to try to save people. At least as many people as he can. And he saves a good amount of people. So I don't know what you're talking about here.
In any case,
and Superman has saved how many? Like, he always saves like an animal or two. He saves a cat. He saves a dog. He's like, really?
Visuals, I think, are a problem. The music, again, I'm John Williams is still alive. Just hire him to do your Superman movie, you stupid. Just stop.
The music wasn't bad. The music is not that bad. You know, Angry Joe said the same thing about the music too, and I was like, and I feel like he was exaggerating it just a little bit. The only time really the music really like was different, because most of the time it is the John Williams Superman, the revamped version of the Superman theme from 1978. The only time it really changed was at the end, when Guy Gardner tells the kid, literally comes in and saves the day and tells the kid, you got an upgrade. That's when the music changes. And when like I would say when Mr. Terrific is going to help Lois get Superman out the pocket universe, that's also another moment. But other than that, like, the music is most of the time literally just the Superman music. Like, literally that's it. And it's not even bad at all. You're making it sound way worse than what it was.
Stop it.
Get some help.
I get very exercised. This is the only thing that really exercises me about this. John Williams, his original Superman score is one of the great scores in all of movie history. It is a phenomenal score, beginning to end. It may be John Williams' best score. I love that score so much. It is a great, great score. It is magic. And what do? They take the original theme and they play a few notes from it because it's so iconic, and then they underscore it with nothing, with like a pedal tone. It sucks. The music is awful. The score is terrible. Just play the original score.
Nah, that's just a you thing. Nah, that's just a you thing, buddy.
The original score is good.
The original score is good. I love the original score. Everyone loves the original score. But James Gunn still wants to kind of make it his own. Still wants to kind of make it his own to some degree. So, but he knows, and like you said, that's one of his favorite films. So he's going to use the score to some capacity, but he's going to change it up a little bit. And it still works. It still does its job.
It's magic. You feel the magic when Superman flies in the original score. Like, what are you doing? Okay, then we get to the actual politics. So I know this is what people are waiting for. They're waiting for my political rip on this film.
Yeah,
so
that's what I've been waiting for, because I want to know what politics you talk about, even though I'm not a big political person.
There's a movie about illegal immigration. Not really. Honestly, like, you have to look to find that. There's one line
Thank you. I was going to say, there's, like, you have to, like, really, like, dive deep in to be like, oh, they're talking about Superman being an illegal alien, which, in technicality, he is an illegal alien. He is an illegal alien. he's from another planet and just happened to just come down here and just decided to just do whatever. So yeah, he is, and he's technically committing vigilantism. So yeah.
Clark is saying, "Aren't you going to read me my rights?" James Gunn's politics is so ham-handed, like truly ham-handed,
Oh
that it
my
doesn't even
god!
read as
Because he said, "Read me my rights." Oh my god! Because he said, "Read me my rights." Really? That's what's going to show that James Gunn doesn't.
political. It just reads as stupid. So there's a moment where Clark,
I don't.
he said,
I don't think I can make it through the rest of this video. Oh my god! Like, oh my god!
"Aren't you going to read me my rights?" And one of the members of the government says, "Well, you're now considered an enemy alien, right? You don't have any rights because you're not an American." All right, like, if that's supposed to be some sort of like anti-ICE sentiment, it's
You know what's funny? You literally said you have to look very deep into it, but you're literally trying to go so deep to find a problem and find a political issue right now. You're literally doing what you're trying to say is not in the film. Like, you're doing that right now.
really weak. Also, legally incredibly stupid, considering that he came to Earth as a baby and then was adopted by an American family, which would make him American.
That was. But you know that they don't know that. They don't know where Superman's home is, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Does everyone know that? Know where Superman freaking crash landed and what home he was at? No one knows that. Not like what? Oh, okay.
Meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation.
With that goofball on the screen. Yeah, I don't. He's literally trying to. He literally said, "There's not that much politics in here. Like, you have to look really deep into it," and then literally is trying to make it about politics. He's trying to literally dig deep himself to find politics. Like, come on, bro. Damn, all these ads.
Design the perfect voice for your brand with 11.
Long.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
There was a suggestion that he says truth, justice, and the human way. I didn't catch that anywhere in the film. The sort of social.
He says it in the I think he said it twice. I think he says something like that to Lex. He said it to Lex like at the end of the movie once he flies in and stops them from going through the pocket dimension. And then I think he said it to he said it to someone else. I would have to go back and watch it. But I know he said it at least once or twice.
Social media politics, that social media is stupid and rigged by bots, which, I mean, I think everybody sort of agrees on at this point. And there's a really dumb visual joke where Lex has set up action.
It's a dumb visual joke. How is it dumb? You just calling stuff dumb, and you're just saying stuff is dumb and doesn't make sense without actually saying why. Like, yeah, he's making a joke about how there are bots in the world.
Actual monkeys typing into computers as his bots. It's like, oh god. But that's so James Gunn. Again, it's all so.
That was what's wrong with that. That, like, I don't know about. Like I said, in my review, my theater thought this was funny, especially considering the fact that Lex Luthor went that far and hates Superman that much that he trained a bunch of monkeys to make hate comments on social media so it can seem like there's a bunch of people that hate Superman. You know how much level of hate that is? Bro made a pocket dimension literally because he hates Superman. You know how much freaking hate that is? Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at him.
Oh, I can't. I just don't like James Gunn. I mean, just to be. And again, I'm one of.
I don't know why you don't like James Gunn. James Gunn has made a bunch of great stuff. I don't even hate Zack Snyder. But you like that's the funny part. Like, y'all probably think I hate Zack Snyder. I don't even hate Zack Snyder. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't. I love Watchmen. I love 3000 DC. I love that. I mean 300. It's the Spartan. It's one of the Spartan movies. I know he did that. I love that. I don't hate James Gunn. I like parts of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. But you hate James Gunn, there's absolutely no reason to like. There's no reason why you can hate James Gunn. He has made a bunch of great stuff. Like a bunch of great stuff. He has not technically let us down in any capacity. I don't see how you hate James Gunn.
The people who, when James Gunn was first fired from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise in July 2018 over...
He wasn't fired. Oh, you're talking about the first time. Oh, I thought you were talking about after Guardians 3. He was...
Bad old tweets. I actually defended him at the time. So it's not about like anything personal with James Gunn. I just don't like his movies very much. The other politics.
You don't like his movies, but he made some of the best movies in the MCU. Crazy work. He is right though. He's right about him getting fired and then he defended. I thought he was about to say he got fired after Guardians 3. I was about to be like, that's not what happened. But you see, they brought him back for a reason. And what did he make after that? Oh yeah, he made the banger Guardians 2. That's right.
Of the situation are supposedly this foreign policy thing. So the left is suggesting,
and clearly you brought it up because you're trying to find a way to hate. So I don't know why. Like other than that, you bringing that up was pointless.
That the foreign policy conflict in which Superman engages is a stand-in for Israel and the Palestinians, or alternatively for Russia and Ukraine. So let me
saying is that you're literally saying that it's not that much politics, but you're trying to find politics. You're digging deep when you literally said that you have to dig deep in order to find stuff in here.
Give you the geopolitical setup. The geopolitical setup here is that there is a country called Moravia, and this country called Moravia is run by essentially a corrupt dictator.
So none of these fight scenes were cool. None of these.
Dictator who's working with Lex Luthor, and it invades another sovereign country, Jarhanpur. Okay, and so Superman stops that at the very beginning. Okay, and doesn't show him stopping it. He talks to Lois Lane about it. Fine. Okay, the idea is geopolitically that Moravia has been a longtime ally of the United States. Jarhanpur is a country where we don't know who it's allied with. And it may or may not be run by jihadis, but we don't know. Like, we don't know who it's run by. It doesn't matter. The only reason that Clark stops it, that Superman stops it, is he says because
people were going to die.
The only reason? I don't think... I might be done. The only reason. Yeah, that's not a valid enough reason. People were going to die.
Which, as we'll get to in sort of my final breakdown of why this movie doesn't work and why no really good Superman movie has been made since '78.
What did he say?
Oh,
he's right to some degree. Other than Superman 2, technically there hasn't really been a really, really good Superman movie. I can debate a little bit on Superman Returns, but then again, like, yeah. But this movie is definitely up there. It's definitely considered one of the best. It's better than the other ones. So
explain in a moment. The people of Jarhanpur are brown.
Look at my African American over here.
The people of Moravia are white. Okay, so this is why the left is reading this as Israel the Palestinians. The reason it doesn't work that way is because we are not made aware that the people of Jarhanpur are either wildly terrorism supportive, that they have participated in multiple terrorist attacks on the people of Moravia. They are led by a corrupt dictatorship that murders gay people, right? None of that's in the movie. So it doesn't match up that way. And the idea that Moravia is Israel in this iteration, like a longtime U.S. ally that's randomly invading countries for territorial gain, that does not match up to any of the facts on the ground that we know of at all. That is not real. So maybe in left-wing brain, that's how it reads. I could see if you're a left-winger and you don't know anything about the situation, or you think a bunch of false things, you could read that maybe. You could also read this as Russia-Ukraine because it's one sovereign country.
Bro, why are you trying to put real life... Bro, why are you trying to put real life event... You're making this way deeper than what it has to be. And once again, I'm going to say it again. After you literally said you have to look deep in order to find something, because it's not that much in here, but you're literally trying to go as deep as possible to make this about politics.
That's invading another sovereign country, and because the leader of Moravia has a Russian accent. So I guess that if you have, like, poison left brain.
The Russians are nuking us! Go! Go, go, go! We're all gonna die! Come on! The missiles are coming! They've lost their mind! Go! Get to the gym!
But you certainly don't have to read it that way. And I'm not going to read it that way because it's stupid and it doesn't make any sense.
If you wasn't going to read it that way, then why freaking talk about it then?
Politically. It makes no sense. Okay, so.
It's a comic book movie. Why, if you wasn't going to look at that way, then why even bring it up? Christ.
This brings me to my final point about this movie and all other Superman movies. The fundamental flaw in all Superman movies of my lifetime is the thing that Hollywood cannot say and will not do.
Politics, does he still stand for truth, justice, all that stuff?
The only Superman movie that I have ever seen that uses truth, justice, and the American way is the original 1978 Superman.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American...
Because what about this movie doesn't stand for truth, justice, and American way? What in this movie shows that he doesn't stand for that? Like, yeah, the Superman that saved the squirrel, wanted to save a kaiju, who cares about all life and will do anything to protect all life, that person does not care about any of that. Doesn't care about true justice in the American way. The literal politics that you were talking about, how he was trying to get in the middle to make sure no one gets killed, no one gets hurt. That literally involved, and to some degree, involved politics in the American way. That David Cornswell's Superman was not showing that. Okay, if you say so.
This is not just a throwaway.
And Superman 2 didn't show that. Superman 2 didn't show that. How doesn't Superman 2 show that? Superman Returns doesn't show that. Actually, even in some parts of Man of Steel, like, really? Okay.
Line. It is deeply important to the character of Superman. Why? Well, because take Superman just as a character. Superman is unbelievably powerful, unstoppable. He's faster than anyone. He has X-ray and laser vision. He's stronger than anyone, right? He's basically a god on Earth, and the biggest god. He's Zeus, right? He can do whatever he wants. And so, why is he the good guy? Why isn't Lex Luthor right? Because, let's be real, if there were a person on Earth who actually had those powers, Americans would rightly be very much afraid of that. Correctly. As Federalist 51 suggests, you need ambition to counteract ambition. If any one person had ultimate power, what you're really talking about is a philosopher king. And that's pretty scary because that person could be a dictator, simply doing whatever they want to the world. The only reason why Superman would be a hero as opposed to a villain is because he grew up in America, because he has the American way, right? He's emblematic of what America is. May blunder, may make mistakes, but overall stands for freedom and liberty and private property and free speech and all of those things.
All that stuff.
Right? All the good American stuff. There's a great comic book called Superman Red Sun. It's an alternative.
Oh, so you do read comics. You do read comics. So I'm assuming you just read the comics or only pay attention to certain comics then. Because
alternative universe
I'm so over this.
in which Superman's capsule from Krypton lands in Soviet Russia. And he grows up as the emblem of Soviet Russia. And he's evil because he grew up.
So it's almost like if Superman didn't grow up in a great home, had great parents, had a great schoolhood with great childhood with Lana at Smallville and stuff like that, he might have been a different person. So it's not just because he grew up in America. It's because he grew up in a loving home. He grew up with people that cared about and showed him how to care about people and showed him how to be a good person. Literally in the film, Paul Kent tells you, we can only give you the tools. We make mistakes just as much as you make mistakes. We give you the tools. It's up to you to figure out your destiny. Clark took all of those good things, even the message, even though he didn't see the full message, he believed that his parents, the rest of that message was something good. That he was going to take that message and make it into something good. And he has done that. The people around him, especially his mom, not his biological parents, but his adopted parents have shown him how to be a good person and why he is a good person, why he is the way he is, and why he is Superman. It's not just because he grew up in America. Like,
in Soviet Russia, because if you give that amount of power to an evil ideology, then evil ensues. So this is why it's really important. It's not just truth.
So because Superman went to America, that's why he's good. You know how crazy that sounds? You know what I mean?
Justice and the human way, or truth, justice, and all that good stuff. There's a specific definition of Americanism that says that this is why America, for example, should be a world power, because America is better than other countries, and people who live in accordance with Americanism make the world better if they have more power. That's why America is good, because otherwise, Superman is bad, and Lex Luthor is right, and we should restrict his power, and we should jail him, and we should check and balance him, and we should not let him be free. The problem is that Hollywood cannot say the American way because they don't believe in the American way. They don't believe that America is unique. They don't believe in these American basic values.
Why are we getting so political here? Oh my God. He says it. He pretty much says that. He pretty much says truth, justice in the movie. He pretty much says it in the movie. Yeah, I would have to go back and look at it. I can only remember but so much. It's been a minute. I mean, I saw the movie. I saw it Thursday, then saw it Friday. So I mean, I would have to go back and rewatch it again, of course. And I plan on it, but he says it. He says it in the movie. I don't know what this dude is talking about.
Values and principles and rights. They have a hard time, even with the idea that, like, the values of Ma and Pa Kent back on the farm are values that ought to be promulgated in the best of all possible circumstances. And so what they come away with in kind of the key moment in this movie, for example, is Pa Kent telling Clark that parents don't make missions for their kids, right? They don't make their kids kind of what they are in terms of what they should be. They give kids the tools to choose what they want to be, and then those choices make those kids what they are. Okay, that's kind of half true and half not. Of course, you give your kids the tools to make choices in life, but you also try to define the mission your kid should have in life. That's maybe
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not. Let me. Does he say anything
the most
else?
important or not.
Lifestyle, culture, art, business. That's at the heart of why we all chose to come to LBS.
I'm done. I'm done.
We have some.
Let me see. I want to see if he says anything else before I'm done. I can't do that.
Why should one person be given this much power? And the answer is that it's one thing about the movie is going to stick with you. The hero of the movie is the good dog, James Gunn.
The worms going in through the.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. This video might actually. Damn, this was an hour video. I did not think it would take me this long. I had to pause a lot. Yeah. I don't know what this dude is on. I don't know what he's talking about. He needs to stick to the type of videos he usually makes. Don't do movie reviews because you don't know what you're talking about. You said you read
Alrighty,
comics.
folks. So today,
of course, he read the most political version of Superman, but yeah, stick to your politics stuff, man. Yeah, stick to that. Don't do movie reviews because you're not. Don't do movie reviews because you're not good at it. That was awful. That was bad. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.